Hi guys, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings from the Heart. So this is your week ahead reading. As usual, I like to show you the cards that I'm using for your reading this week. So for the weekly check-in, we are using my Everyday Enchantment Tarot. We're going to be using the 8-coin Tattoo Tarot as well by Lana Zellner, and also my beautiful Tarot in Wonderland, cards by Barbara Moore, illustrated by Eugene Smith. And your advice for the week will be The Art of Life Tarot deck by Charlene Livingston. And for your 10-card love and 10-card career reading for the week, we are using my trusty old Dark Mansion Tarot deck. Really love this deck. And we're getting your spiritual advice from the tea leaf cards, tea leaf fortune cards, using the astro cards of the career, love and wealth cards. And we're also going to use the spiritual advice, additional spiritual advice, to heal yourself reading cards if need be. All right, sit back, guys, and enjoy the reading. Hi guys, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings from the Heart. Thanks ever so much for joining me on your week ahead reading. Just to let you know how the reading's going to go, we do your weekly check-in first. Then we have a look at more specifically your work, stroke finance, and we also have a look at your love life during the week. If you'd like to see a particular reading, so if you'd like to only look at your work reading or only your love reading or maybe just the general reading, timestamps are below. So you just click on the time and it will take you straight through to the reading that you want to view. I'd like to say, guys, thanks ever so much for joining me this week for your reading. And yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Okay, Scorpio, so we've got your cards down. Let's have a look at your reading. So Scorpio, this week, 2 cards came out for who you're showing as being this week. So let's have a look. You're showing as being the Queen of Swords. We'll have a look at this one in a moment. When you show as being the Queen of Swords, there's a few things that you can show as being the Queen of Swords. You can show as being very objective, very kind of smart, intellectual as the Queen of Swords. You kind of know the answers. This is the no bullshit card, is the Queen of Swords. So, you know, she cuts to the chase. So this is somebody who has clarity of mind, clarity of thought. You can also show as being quite outspoken as a Queen of Swords as well, because she does speak within the tarot. Well, when she's speaking as the Queen of Swords, she's speaking in a very clear way. So she's no nonsense. If you want to go to this person for advice, she'll just tell you like it is. She's not going to kind of flower it over or, you know, fluff it up or anything like that. She's just going to tell you how things are. So you can show as being possibly, I'm not going to say confrontational, but some of you might be confrontational. Some of you might even be a little bit critical as that Queen. But also the Queen of Swords shows us somebody who can be very, very cut off as well, emotionally. So sometimes when you get her, she's cutting off from a group, or she's distancing herself, or she's isolating herself. So I think that this week you're showing as being, and she's also a very strict individual as well. So it just feels to me that you guys are kind of cutting through the nonsense this week, Scorpio. And it looks to me like you have a very clear objective as well with that Queen of Swords energy. For some of you guys, it might be a clear objective to get a certain job done. For some of you guys, it might be a clear objective this week is to cut away from people that I don't want to be around. It might be this week my clear objective is to make money or that type of thing. Let's have a look at what the other card is. You're showing as the Queen of Swords and the Six of Swords. Okay. So the Six of Swords is all about moving forward. It's about overcoming a time of trouble. It's about moving to, as I know it's a cliche within the tarot, but it's all about moving towards a clearer path. It's all about overcoming turbulence when you get the Six of Swords. And I feel that you guys this week have a clear objective with that Queen of Swords energy of how you're going to move out of maybe a troublesome situation with that Six of Swords energy showing there. Because the Six of Swords is all about moving away from troubled waters, okay, moving into calmer waters. And I think with the Queen of Swords energy, you guys showing as the Queen of Swords and that Six of Swords, I think that you've got this clear plan of action here with this Queen of Swords energy. You've got this clear objective, this clear kind of plan, this clear idea, Scorpio, of how you're going to overcome with that Six of Swords energy, maybe some turbulence that you've been experiencing. What's the reason for this? Let's have a look at what the reason is. because, the Hanged Man. All right. I do feel that some of you guys have probably been stuck in limbo with that Hanged Man energy showing here, okay? So when you get the Hanged Man, it can represent certain things. It can represent that you're making a sacrifice. The Hanged Man can represent laziness. The Hanged Man can represent seeing things in a completely different way. And it might be that as well, that some of you guys have been stuck in a time of limbo with the Hanged Man, but now you're starting to see things in a slightly different way. And that's why you guys this week are actually looking quite objectively and seeing very objectively, I think, with this Queen of Swords energy of how you're going to move away from a time of turbulence with this Six of Swords energy, because you've been stuck in limbo. But it almost feels like to me that there's a sense of enlightenment, because the Hanged Man also means spiritual enlightenment. So some of you guys are coming now to a place of spiritual enlightenment. You've been stuck in limbo for a while, but now there's there's spiritual enlightenment. There's a spiritual awakening here that says to you, actually, I know the answers. I know how I'm going to move out of this situation here. So this week it's about finding the answers and actually acting on them, which is really nice energy, I think. And I think if this resonates with any of you guys, this is a really, really good week, because what we're finding here is that even though you've been stuck in a little bit of a holding time, in a situation, you've been held in limbo for a while with the Hanged Man energy. Some of you guys have felt your hands aren't tied on this particular card, the Tower in Wonderland, but certainly your feet are. So there's been a lack of movement for some of you guys with the Hanged Man energy. But I do feel that this holding time was very necessary for you. I think the time that you've been spent in limbo, I think that was a very necessary time for you, Scorpio, because what I think this allowed was for you to start seeing things in a very, very different way. And now you can see very clearly with both these cards about the actions that you need to take going forward. And you can see quite clearly with that Queen of Swords as well of how you're going to move out of maybe the Hanged Man energy, not just a time of turbulence, but also a time where you felt in a great deal of limbo. So this week it's about seeing how you're going to move out of a time of limbo and difficulty that you were experiencing. What is your goal for the week, Scorpio? Your goal, Scorpio, is the moon. I think that your goal is really with the moon energy to get some enlightenment. So the moon can mean, especially if it's being in a good place like this, in a good position, which is your goal for the week. The moon would mean, well, it's to shed some light on a situation. My goal is to gain clarity, the moon can work both ways. The moon can work in terms of not feeling very clear, but the moon can also work in terms of shedding light as well, because cards like Star and the Moon and the Sun, they all reference light. So the sun is light, the moon is light. If you're walking along a path at night, there's moon in the sky, it often lights the way. So I feel that really the moon card for you guys, there's a couple of things I'm thinking of here. Your goal for the week is really to shed a light, to gain more enlightenment, possibly even to get some guidance on how you're going to do this. The other thing with the moon card could be that the goal for the week for Scorpio is really to focus on the vision going forward, because when you get the moon as well, the moon is all about your deep internal visions. What is your vision for the future? And it might be, I've been through a really turbulent time with the Hanged Man. I've been in limbo. I've been feeling really, really stuck. But now with the Queen of Swords energy this week, I'm going to get really serious about this, and I'm going to look very objectively on how I can move out of a situation that I've been feeling really kind of stuck and in limbo about. And my goal will be with this moon energy, not just to gain some enlightenment and some guidance on this, but really, if I'm going to be moving out of this time of turbulence, then what is the long-term vision? You get cards like the Two of Wands and the Moon. That's a long-term vision combination right there. So it might also be, after I've moved out of this situation, what is my long-term vision? I'm going to actually start focusing on that. What is the obstacle that you need to overcome, Scorpio? The Death card, which is yourself. Okay, because death represents us Scorpios. It's our major card. So this is all about personal transformation. I think the obstacle you need to overcome is that you have to be ready that, this movement, this transformation, because this is a transformation here. The Six of Swords represents transformation and transition time. And you are going through a transition, I think, here, because it's about coming out of a time of limbo and really focusing very clearly with that Queen of Swords and looking quite objectively about how you're going to start to come out of this time that you've been stuck in. How do I move forward? You can see actually there's a moon there as well, lighting the way on this particular card as well. Well, you know, if your clear objective is to do all of this energy this week, Scorpio, and you say, well, my goal is to get some guidance and enlightenment, but also to focus on the long-term visions that I have after this has been accomplished, it might be the obstacle that you have to overcome this week, Scorpio, is yourself. And that is, it's going to require a massive transformation within you. You know, you have to be ready for this change, because this is you, death. This is you. This is our major card. So this is all about transformation, a personal transformation. And I think the obstacle that you have to overcome, because you can talk the talk, Scorpio, but you got to be able to walk the walk. And that death card is saying you got to be able to walk the walk. You might talk the talk and say, yeah, I've been in limbo. I've now got this clear objective, how I'm going to get out of it with that Six of Swords energy, because I'm going to focus on my goal of the long-term vision. But the universe says, that's great. That's all absolutely fantastic, Scorpio, but the obstacle you need to overcome is, are you ready for this personal transformation that you're going to be putting yourself through with the death energy? What could you be achieving by the end of the week or in the subsequent weeks? Well, you could be achieving the Nine of Swords, which is coming to the end of the cycle of worry. So the nines represent when you are nearing completion. So what you could be achieving by the end of the week is that you're nearing the completion of a time that you were suffering, of a time that you were worrying, of a time that you felt bound. If you look at the hands on this particular deck, the hands are bound. They're bound. They're bound by worries. So this person doesn't make any moves at all, because their hands are completely tied, because they're so focused on those swords. All of those kind of mental worries, all of those fears, all of those anxieties, they're not really making any movement. They're not kind of using their hands to do stuff. But now, because you're focusing on all of this stuff, and if you carry on focusing on all of this stuff, Scorpio, what's going to happen by the end of the week is that you're going to be nearing the end of a time when you were worrying. You're going to be finally nearing the end of the cycle with the number 9 energy here of worrying, of feeling anxious. You know, some of you guys are coming out of a depressive state, that type of thing. Because I feel that for you guys, it almost feels like you say to yourself, you know, and I think that the goal really for some of you guys, it's not just about getting that guidance maybe from others, but it's about focusing on the long-term vision. Because you guys are saying, I've been in this waiting room for too long, hangman energy. But, you know, it did serve its purpose, really. And it's a major arcana. So what did we learn? What was the lesson that we learned? Because you learned something here with the hanged man. During this time of, you know, what's the word that I'm looking for? During this time of passivity, where nothing was happening, where you were feeling kind of in limbo, kind of not knowing whether to go left, not knowing whether to go right, feeling delays, feeling like you couldn't move, feeling that you were powerless to a certain extent, sometimes the hangman can be. Suddenly you start looking at stuff and you start saying, actually, this served me well. Now you can see on this card, he's eating food. He's actually eating, so he's relaxing. So at first, this was a really difficult time for you to be in. Things felt like they were at a standstill, they weren't moving. But then gradually, which is what the hanged man is as well, this is gradual energy. Gradually, Scorpio, you started to relax about stuff. And then you started to say, actually, I'm seeing things a little bit differently now. I don't feel so bad in this limbo here, because it's giving me time to take a step back and review the situation. And now, this week, I'm ready, as the Queen of Swords, to look objectively. So actually to look objectively, to look seriously and clearly at ways that I can get myself out of the stasis that I've been in, you know. And that's why by the end of the week, Scorpio, with that Nine of Swords, if you carry on doing that, and if you can overcome the obstacle that this is going to require a massive personal transformation in terms of who you are, you know, because some Scorpios, as I always say, a lot of Scorpios will say, well, no, I'm not afraid of change. I love change. And there, you know, you get the Scorpios that love change and you get the Scorpios that are afraid of change. You might be one of the Scorpios that's a little bit afraid of change, because the Death card in an obstacle position, it's all about, and especially as we're reading for us Scorpios, it's all about personal transformation. And that might be your obstacle, that you say all of this stuff that you're going to do and you start kind of planning ahead, but then it's going to take some form of physical action from you, because you're going to have to personally transform either where you are physically or your ideas, or you're going to have to adjust something about yourself that allows you to start moving forward. This isn't going to be a walk in the park. This isn't something where you can click your fingers like Thanos and have everything just kind of change in a minute. This is going to take some work from Scorpio, and it's going to require you to change a few things about yourself with the death energy. And if you can do that, you will find that by the end of the week and going into the further week, Scorpios, that you are coming finally to the end of this anxiety that some of you guys have been experiencing, that you felt with the Hanged Man at first. What do you need to avoid? I feel that you need to avoid doing anything really quickly right now. I think that it has to be a process, to be perfectly honest with you, because the Judgment energy is, it's not just about making judgments. It's all about death and rebirth. Another card that kind of represents Scorpio because it's ruled by Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth. So you need to avoid judgment. And I feel that when it says that you need to avoid judgment, I think that you need to avoid coming up too quickly. I think that you need to do everything in a gradual stage. What do you need to embrace? You're going to win. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm telling you here, Scorpio? Look at the card. You're going to win. You are going to win. Do you understand? All right? That is it's weird because just looking at that, it's weird when you're a reader, and this is why I love the tarot, because what it does is it makes you feel very powerful as a reader when you read such wonderful messages coming through the cards. It really does. And right now, I don't know what it is, but I feel like crying right now because it's like confirmation that the universe is saying you are on the right track, Scorpio. You really, really are. You're absolutely 100% on the right track because you are going to win. You are going to overcome the hurdles. Now you can see she's jumping the hurdles, and she's jumped the final hurdle and she's winning. And it's in line with this card here, where if you carry on this track within a week or within the next few weeks, let's put it like that, within the next few weeks with this Nine of Swords energy, you could finally be releasing all of that pent-up anxiety some of you Scorpios have been feeling. But it is a process. Avoid judgment, doing everything now, because judgment is a really quick energy. Judgment can happen just like that. Do you see what I mean? You can see here that she's giving up everything. She's, giving up, drink, giving up drugs, and that's fine. You should do that, of course. But, you need to avoid, I get the impression because judgment is such a quick energy and timing. It can be within the next few hours or the next few days. You've got to avoid, I think, doing everything really, really quickly because it's a process. But so everything here that we're looking at here, it needs to be done in stages, because that death card being your obstacle position, Scorpio, is saying that you need to overcome the obstacle, that this is going to require a personal transformation, a personal transition from you. You cannot do things the way that you've done them before. You're going to have to make certain sacrifices with that death energy. But avoid doing it all now, because it might be if you do it all now, you'll end up going back. It's almost like somebody who takes drugs and they're going cold turkey. Sometimes you need to kind of perhaps go on a step program, or perhaps go to a class where you can talk things through with others rather than trying to do everything now. Sometimes it's best just to take things one step at a time, and I think it is best to take things one step at a time, because you need to embrace that you've got these hurdles that you need to jump. But once you have jumped those hurdles, which is what the process is, at the end, you're going to be the winner. You are going to win. You are going to achieve. Do you understand? You are going to achieve, Scorpio. It's a process. Don't push yourself so quickly. But that's what I would say to you. The only thing I would say with this judgment energy, and I don't think with the judgment card it's about avoiding self-judgment, because I don't think that you are necessarily judging yourself. Necessarily. To me, this almost feels like with the judgment energy, you need to avoid doing everything right now, everything all in one. I think that you need to start with the thing that is easiest and then work through the process. So I think that you need to start with the thing that is easiest. What is it that you can do that is easiest for this transformation to take place within your life, Scorpio? Because you're clearly making an objective move here, because this is somebody who's objective, the Queen of Swords, and this is a move. So this week you guys are really strategizing, and you're looking objectively at a move here with this Six of Swords energy. You're looking objectively at how you can move from one state into the other, and the state that you're wanting to move from, Scorpio, would have been a very negative one to start from, because you were in stasis with the Hanged Man. You were in limbo with the Hanged Man. Nothing was moving, nothing was shifting. But now you're saying, actually, I have the power to do this. If I look objectively with the Queen of Swords eyes, I can see a way that I can actually move through that Hanged Man energy. Because I'm starting to see things in a very different way. My goal for the week, maybe it's to get some guidance on this, but also my goal is to look at the long-term vision that I have with this moon energy. But the obstacle I need to overcome is that I know that I'm going to have to put myself into a different position, into a different situation with the Death card, because it's all about my personal transformation. I know that I'm going to have to adjust the way that I think and the way that I feel, because this is all about my personal transformation with the Death card in order to achieve this. And if I do it right, then by the end of the week, I would say probably the end of the next few weeks, I would say, because it's a process with the Judgment energy being in the avoidance area, I could gradually find myself coming out of this time of anxiety and fear that I've been suffering for so long. I need to avoid doing things too quickly, maybe all at once with the Judgment energy. Avoid coming up too quickly. Avoid tackling everything too quickly. All of my fears, all of my woes, all of my this, all of my that. I need to avoid trying to, trying to do everything all at once with the Judgment energy. And I need to understand that I've got certain hurdles that I'm going to need to jump, yes, but in the end I will win. And if I need advice or support, where can I go? Well, you can go to the Three of Coins. You can go to the people that you work with, for example. You can go to somebody who can give you advice, for example. You can go to somebody who's really experienced. Maybe you can go to a mentor, or you can go to somebody who can give you some guidance within the Three of Coins energy. Maybe this is somebody that you in the workplace, that type of thing. Maybe you can go to your colleagues or the people that you work with, that type of thing. But threes represent groups. So if you need advice or support, go to a group. Go to people that you work with, go to a mentor, go to somebody who's got more experience, who can give you, impart some form of, enlightenment or help or support in some form of way with that Three of Coins energy. But you're not on your own. You're not on your own at all, Scorpio. And this is beautiful. Just think it's beautiful. You are going to win. I think we'll name the reading that this week. Scorpio is going to win. You are going to win. Keep telling yourself that, because it's true. It's true. It's true. You do have to look at the hurdles. When you're a tarot reader or when you're looking at cards, look at those pictures, which is why I love the Everyday Enchanted Tarot. The illustrations are incredible. It's saying avoid doing everything now. Everything. Avoid trying to tackle everything now, because Judgment is all about tackling your demons as well. Avoid trying to tackle everything now and embrace that there are certain hurdles that you're going to need to jump. But once you've jumped those hurdles, Scorpio, man, oh my God, you're going to get through. You're going to win. You're going to win. You are going to win. You are a winner. Keep telling yourself that, because it's absolutely true. Beautiful. Thank you, Jesus, for the reading. Thank you, Lord. Amazing. Thank you, dear Father in heaven, for the reading for Scorpio. Amazing. Universe Spirit. Oh, that came. I was about to ask what. The Lovers was the advice. The heart has reasons that reason cannot know. Okay, so I just think it's a case of following your heart. Okay, following your heart. We do start off with the sword energy, yes, but this is all about looking objectively on how you're going to clear, on how you're going to move through a turbulent time to safer waters. Okay, but you're doing this because your heart is driving you to do it, Scorpio. It's almost like the universe is saying it's now. It's almost like you're being called, and I know it says avoid judgment, but I'm reading judgment in the way that we're tackling with our demons all at the same time, when in fact there are hurdles that you need to embrace, that there are processes and hurdles you still need to go through. You can't go through from A straight through to Z. You've got to go A, B, C, D, E. All right? You've got to take the steps. All right? The heart has reasons that reason cannot know. So do things in your own way. As long as you have the long-term vision here to overcome those hurdles, you will win. You really will. What a fantastic reading. I love you so much, Scorpio, and I know that Scorpios can really find it hard sometimes to tackle certain things, but it's just a phenomenal reading. You are a winner. You are a winner, and you're going to win. You're going to win. There will be hurdles to jump, but as long as you... See, when you're a runner, you see all these runners that do athletics and stuff, what do they often think to themselves? What do they think, Scorpio? They've got all these, hurdles. They've got all of these people behind them trying to come upon them. They've got all these hurdles to jump before they can get to the finish line. But the athlete always keeps their eyes on the goal. They always keep their eyes on the finish line, and that's what you've got to do. Yes, you have hurdles, but keep your eyes on the prize, and you will win. All right, bear with me, and we're going to come back with your career reading. All right, I mean, the Five of Swords in a work reading often deals with hurt, pain, people who cause us hurt and pain. When you get the Five of Swords, sometimes this is competitors, sometimes this is somebody who can be quite cruel. They can be quite cutting with the Five of Swords. But also the Five of Swords can be a really good card for standing in your power, and for asserting yourself as well, can be the Five of Swords as well. Let's have a look at the next one. The Ace of Swords energy. So we've got sword energy, 2 sword cards showing up here. And I feel that with the Ace of Swords, it almost feels like you're cutting this out. So you've got probably antagonists around you, but I feel with the Ace of Swords energy, you're actually cutting this energy out, because the Ace of Swords also represents to cut things out. So it just feels like you are cutting this energy of the Five of Swords out on this reading here. Yeah, it's nice. Healing is the Star energy. All right. I feel with the Five of Swords, you've got antagonists around you, I won't lie. But I do feel that you're cutting them out, and you're actually finding, I think, with the Ace of Swords energy, you're feeling more powerful as well with the Ace of Swords energy. I feel with the Star energy, I feel that you are healing. Because the Star energy is all about healing, and I think that this is very much to do with healing. Even though the Star in a work reading can actually be about gaining recognition. All right, and it might be that you're cutting out the competition and you're gaining recognition with the Star energy as well. All right, because the Five of Swords can simply be competitors, cutting them out, gaining recognition for some of you guys with the Star energy. But it could also be that you're cutting away negative individuals within the workplace, and with the Star energy starting to heal in a massive way, because it's a major arcana showing up in the reading. What's the next card showing up here? You've got the Hierophant energy. So I do feel some of you guys are gaining recognition here within the Star energy showing up. And the Hierophant is corporation, or it's within a group. So you might be gaining massive recognition within a group that you work within with the Hierophant energy. Or it could be by a leader, because Hierophants are leaders of men. So it might be you're gaining recognition from a leader as well with the Hierophant energy showing up here. Let's have a look. Page of Cups. Could be for some work you've done with the Page of Cups energy, or maybe it's for an idea that you're giving forth with the Page of Cups. Because the Page of Cups is all about a dream, it's about an idea, it's about something that's new. So I feel that some of you guys are cutting away your competitors. Maybe you're gaining recognition from a leader here in terms of some work, a new idea that you've put forward as well with that Page of Cups energy showing up here. The Eight of Swords energy. I certainly feel that this Five of Swords person had you as the Eight of Swords. So I certainly feel that some of you guys were feeling very trapped by a Five of Swords individual here. I think you're cutting this away. Let's have a look at the next card showing up here. You've got the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles energy. Couple of eights within the reading. So eights represent transition and changes as well within the when you look at the eights as well. But we've got an Eight of Swords. So this is in terms of the work. So it almost feels like you were feeling trapped, possibly doing the same thing over and over and over again, because the Eight of Coins in a work reading can also be that you're doing things in a in a very repetitive way. So some of you guys probably feeling trapped doing the same thing, the same routine in terms of a job over and over again. Maybe the Five of Swords is you asserting yourself. You're asserting yourself and making a decision here with the Ace of Swords. Maybe you're asserting yourself and you're cutting yourself free. Some of you guys possibly feeling really trapped in a boring job, doing something over and over and over again. Some of you guys, again, cutting away the negative energies of that Five of Swords energy, gaining recognition from a leader, possibly for a new idea that you're putting forth. Some of you guys feeling trapped, repetitive job with the Eight of Coins energy showing here. Some of you guys are reminiscing as well. Probably you're feeling trapped within doing a really repetitive job, and you're daydreaming. This isn't just reminiscing, this is also daydreaming. Yeah, your daydream, you've got 3/8, so there's a journey coming up for some of you guys. 3/8 in a reading talks about a journey or a short journey. So there's 3/8 in your reading. You're dreaming about moving on. You're dreaming about advancing yourself, pushing yourself further with the Eight of Wands, launching yourself, putting yourself out there with the Eight of Wands energy showing up here to something new. Can you see how you're moving towards the Eight of Cups, doing something new? Interesting reading. We're going to do it again. I think there's two things that I'm looking at here within this reading. Number one, some of you guys have dealt with the Five of Swords energy. It's interesting because I'm going to read it actually three ways. I think number one, some of you guys have dealt with the really negative people around you with the Five of Swords, backstabbers basically, jealous people basically with the Five of Swords, cruel people basically with the Five of Swords. I think that you are cutting away from this week, and with the star energy, some of you guys are focusing on your hopes, on your dreams. Maybe there's something to do with, because these are two spiritual cards here. So the star is all about your life purpose, okay? And the Hierophant is like doing something that you're meant to do. So some of you guys cutting away from negative energy and probably focusing on your life purpose with the star energy and that Hierophant energy showing there. Possibly with the Page of Cups energy, it's about doing or creating something new, or moving towards doing a new creative endeavor. Some of you guys, it could be, well, you're deciding that you want to cut away from the Five of Swords energy and what you want to focus on, what you're dreaming of. Some of you guys going back to college with that Hierophant and Page of Cups. Maybe you're dreaming of going back and retraining, that type of thing. Some of you guys are finally getting one over, I think, as well on negative energies, because some of you guys are actually gaining recognition from a boss, from the Hierophant, from a leader, somebody in charge, for the work that you've been putting forth, for the new, but it will be new ideas that you've been putting forth, that you've been presenting, and I think that somebody might really like that as well, and it almost feels like you're getting one over on certain people who were trying to bring you down, that type of thing. I think some of you guys have been feeling really bored though as well within work. You're feeling really trapped by the monotony and the repetitiveness of a job that you're doing here, and what you're dreaming of is moving forward, moving out of this with the Eight of Wands, and pursuing, Eight of Wands is pursuing something that you really love. Because the Eight of Cups, when you get cups in a work reading, they're all about doing the things that you love. So some of you guys are really dreaming with that Six of Cups energy of pursuing with the Eight of Wands something that you really love. Also dreaming of pursuing something that's new with the Ace of Cups energy. Let's have a quick look at what the advice is for the work reading showing up. Let's have a look. We're going to put down your career here. And we're going to get the cards out here. And we're going to just have a little shuffle around of those and have a look what the universe has to say to us. Universe, Spirit, what is the advice that you have for Scorpio? What's the advice that you have for Scorpio, please, on this reading? So, in 3 cards, what's the advice you have for career for the week for Scorpio? So, we're going to get one here, one here, and one here. Let's have a look. Right, we've got a younger man, so you're going to have dealings or a relationship with a younger man in the workplace, in your career. Teardrops though, so there could be some great personal sorrow concerning a younger man in work. Tulip, and it looks like it's love for me, for some of you guys. It looks like if this resonates with you in your career, some of you guys felt great passion for a younger man, but there might be some sorrow coming in concerning that. Unfortunately, okay, so that looks like it might be a love situation going on there. And let's have a look at wealth. We'll have a look at your money situation as well. I think I forgot to do that for Scorpio last week. Show me what you see coming in for money for Scorpio in 3 cards. What do you see coming in for money for Scorpio in 3 cards this week, please? So 1, 2, and 3. So your money situation is tent. So there's a temporary situation here. Barrel. You feel something is lacking in your love, perhaps money. So this is because it's wealth, it's money. So some of you guys feel that their money is lacking, but it is only a temporary situation, Scorpio, okay? It's temporary. All right, Ram. A stubborn, aggressive person. Okay. Some of you guys might have to deal with a stubborn and aggressive person concerning money. It could be the bank manager. It could be the tax person. Okay. And some of you guys are kind of worried about the lack of money with the barrel. However, don't worry about it, because this is simply a temporary situation. And obviously when things are temporary, like the Wheel of Fortune, it's going to change. It's going to improve. All right, bear with me, guys. We're going to have a look at your love reading. Okay, Scorpio, let's have a look at your love reading. What do we see? Nine of Coins. So for me, the Nine of Coins can be where you're secure enough. Like you feel, this is a card about being independent. Now, the Nine of Coins doesn't mean that you're on your own all the time. Sometimes you might have, you know, flirtations or boyfriends or girlfriends. But for me, this card is all about not being in an exclusive relationship. And the number 9 is where you're coming to a time of completion. So with the Ace of Cups, it might be that there's a new relationship on the horizon. You're coming to the ending of a cycle of being on your own. 9 of Pentacles energy and the Emperor energy showing up here. I certainly feel that this could be somebody around you, but I feel that with the 9 of Coins, it almost feels like some of you guys are a little bit wary. You're trying to protect yourself, because the 9 of Coins energy is the gilded cage. All right, some of you guys are kind of like, well, you know, I feel okay on my own, but you're kind of looking over an Emperor here as well. So even though I think that you guys are all right on your own, I do feel with the Emperor there is somebody around you. Somebody who's probably caught your eye, somebody who you're probably quite interested in with that Emperor energy. But then we've got the Three of Swords energy. So this is a divorce, I think, because the Emperor, some of you guys are probably newly single. That 9 of Coins, and that can be a middle-aged woman or a middle-aged man who's single. So some of you guys might be newly single here. It looks to me like there, for some of you guys, you're getting divorced, or there's been a divorce here, or a separation with an individual here, because we've got the separation card of the Three of Swords and then a person showing up here. So it looks like some of you guys are probably focusing even on being on your own with the 9 of Coins energy. It looks like you're all right with it because it's a 9 of Coins, because there's going to be a separation, or you're focusing on a separation with an individual here. There is some heartache, yes, I won't lie, because you've got the 5 of Cups. There's some sadness here and disappointment with the 5 of Cups energy showing up there. The Hermit energy, this is distance. I think that you're upset that you've become quite distant from this individual here, or this person's distanced themselves from you. All right, because the Hermit represents distance. So what I'm seeing here is that some of you guys are very much focusing on, you know, if you've been married, Scorpio, you're focusing on kind of like being a single person, paying your bills on your own, looking after the kids on your own, becoming a single parent, that type of thing. If it's just a relationship, then you're certainly just focusing on kind of regaining your own independence again with the 9 of Coins energy, because I'm seeing a separation with somebody important. Could be a divorce or just a separation from this Emperor. Could be an Aries, doesn't have to be. I do feel some of you guys are feeling really sad though that this person's probably moved out, or this person's distanced themselves from you, or you've had to distance yourself from them. However, I do feel with the Sun energy, happiness does reign. There's going to be happiness and joy and, you know, new beginnings as well with that Sun energy. Oh, 3 of Cups. So I think that you guys are going to be finding happiness within friendships. So I think that you're going to be finding your happiness within the friendships that you have with the 3 of Cups, however. So I think this is going to help with that Sun and the 3 of Cups energy showing here. The 8 of Swords though, so the 8 of Swords means to feel trapped or to feel consumed or to overthink with the 8 of Swords energy, or to feel depressed or to feel anxious with the 8 of Swords energy showing here. I think that you're anxious about this world. I think that you're anxious about this new world that you're entering into, this new phase with the world energy showing here. Okay, Knight of Cups energy. And going out, I would say that this isn't kind of like a new relationship. This is like finding love. Or that, because I would probably explain the Knight of Cups and say, well, this is Scorpio, however, feeling anxious about this new phase and going out there and probably finding new love with the Knight of Cups energy, because the Knight of Cups is finding new love. It's a new lover, or it's finding new love. We'll do this reading again. I think for some of you Scorpios, if it resonates with you this week, guys, some of you guys are probably freshly single, maybe. Some of you guys are focusing on kind of, you know, developing your independence with this 9 of Coins energy. I think there's been a separation here with a partner, an Emperor in that 3 of Swords energy, whether you were married or not. And I think that some of you guys are feeling deeply hurt, deeply sad that you've had to distance yourself, or this person moved out or distanced themselves with that Hermit energy. However, there are some positive new beginnings and a lot of happiness to be had with the Three of Cups. So some of you guys going out and socializing and that type of thing with friends, and it almost brings in this new lease of life for you, Scorpio. But I do feel that there is still some anxiety here in terms of this new phase that you're entering into with the world energy and kind of going out there and finding new love. But that's fine. And you know, don't worry about that, Scorpio. If it resonates with you, don't worry about it, because it's normal. Some of you guys probably were with this person for a very, very long time, because they show as an Emperor. So possibly, you know, you were with them for a long time, or they had a really big impact on your life. But unfortunately, it just didn't work out. Just didn't work out. But you do have friends. You do have friends, and there are, you know, there's happiness to be had with that sun energy, with the friendships that you have. You know, it's going out, it's enjoying yourself, it's going for meals, and also the Nine of Coins is all about going out and relaxing and, you know, getting some much needed, you know, relaxation timing. So this can be going on holiday or going for massages. So some of you guys with the Nine of Coins energy are focusing on yourself this week. You're focusing on kind of, you know, going places with your friends, you know, relaxing, going for meals, having really good times with that sun energy. You know, and it's all about trying to overcome this energy here, because you are deeply hurt that with the Hermit energy, you know, it didn't work out. You've both become quite distant from each other. This person moved out, you moved out. It just didn't work out. And you are really anxious about this new phase and finding new love. But what I would say to that, Scorpio, is just take it one step at a time. Because it's normal. If you feel like this, it is absolutely normal. And at some point, you're going to be feeling absolutely great. Let's have a look at what the love reading is saying for you. What is the advice, universe, that you have for love for Scorpio, please? Give me the advice you have for love for Scorpio. What is the advice you have for love and Scorpio, please? Show me. So we've got 2 cards there. We only want 3. Let's get one more, please, universe. Give me one more card. Right, so there's our 3 cards. Let's have a look at what the advice is for love. So the advice for love, Scorpio, is Eagle. You've got triumph over troubles and obstacles. So you're going to triumph over your troubles and obstacles. You really are. You've got the Owl. There's good advice from a wise person. So it might be, I mean, it could even be this person as well. The Hermit is wise. And it might be the Hermit is going to give you the good advice through the Knight of Cups energy. So it might be, yeah, I'm worried about this new phase, but you get good advice through the Hermit and the Knight of Cups, because the Hermit is giving, with the Knight of Cups, giving you good advice. So it could be, yeah, you're on your own, Nine of Coins, and you're really, with the Nine of Coins, it's more about the stiff upper lip. So you're really kind of focusing on kind of just getting your mojo back with that Nine of Coins. And this, you know, involves going out and having a good time with friends here, because you've broken up with someone with the Emperor and the Three of Swords energy, and you're still hurting over it here. And it might be here that you're really anxious about this new phase, and you get good advice as well with the Hermit energy, because he's an advisor, he's very wise. Good advice is going to be given with that Hermit and the Knight of Cups. So that could be your Owl there, the Hermit, okay? So, yeah, you're going to triumph over your troubles, all right, and obstacles, and you're going to get good advice from a wise person in love. And Unicorn, use your intuition to make beneficial changes as well, okay? So triumph over troubles, Scorpio, and obstacles this week in love. You're going to get good advice from a wise person, which could be that Hermit and the Knight of Cups energy showing there. And you need to use your intuition to make beneficial changes as well in the situation. Brilliant. Finally, we're just going to get advice, spiritual advice through the healing cards. So healing yourself reading cards. What is the advice you have for Scorpio on this love reading through the healing yourself reading cards? Showing me one card. Spiritual advice is you need to love yourself. All right, you need to start developing your own self-love and work on loving yourself, because when you work on loving yourself again, that's when you're going to find those real positive changes starting to evolve back into your life. Brilliant. All right, that is your reading, my darlings. As always, I have real pleasure reading for Scorpio. You're my sisters and brothers, obviously. Love you deeply. Happy birthday, guys, this month. And yeah, have a great month. Not great month. Have a great week. And yeah, I'll see you next week. If you'd like a personal reading, you only need to, you know where to go. Click on the comments section. You can click into the link and get a reading there with me, or at the end screen. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.